What's going on, guys and gals? Stock Jock here, up $523 on the day. Uh, Kind of a grab a couple pennies here, grab a couple pennies there kind of day. No huge winners that I can hang my hat on, but that's kind of the way the market's been recently. And you know, I've basically reserved myself from not trading any stock out of the open in the morning, because unless I can get a short on it, because they've been mostly just a slight pop and then drop the rest of the day. So most of my plays have been afternoon and late day news plays. So let's just kind of go over those real quick. I started off with NNVC. This had it popped on news, and if you just look at the daily chart, every kind of pop has been met with a drop, pop, drop, pop. Well, this is a run, but I just I just thought, being a under $2 stock, it's up quite a bit on the day. It was going to come down. I got in short here, thinking we were going to break the low day at the 140 range. That's what I got short right there, and it didn't break. In fact, it held, and I was just watching the L2, and I got the L2 showed a lot of support there at 140, just come in out of nowhere. So as soon as I saw that, I covered, and I got a terrible fill for a 4 cent loss, uh, basically the top of that candle, and was not too thrilled with that. It did pop back up close to high a day, but then came back down and did sell off the rest of the day. And the the trade idea was right. Once it broke that 140 level, you can see as soon as it broke it, boom, that's when the sell off happened. It just didn't happen when I wanted it to, and I didn't want to hang around to see what kind of move it would make. So started down on the day there. CCIH, I don't typically like to trade stocks under $2 just because usually they're crap companies, if they're low floats or whatever. This one, I don't know what made this pop. I didn't ever look at it, but it's a huge float for what it is. Anyway, it started hitting my scanner. It's made this huge run up here, and the trading rooms I'm in, they started looking at it as well. And once they did that, once the trading room started looking at it, then I got interested. So they're waiting for the pullback, and then they were going to play the next 1 minute candle to make a new high. You can see right here, pop, pullback, and as soon as we break this level right here is when uh, the chat rooms were going to go in. So as you can see, I went long at 57 right as we were breaking through that level, and I sold for a 5 cent win at 62. And it did continue on, but not much more, so I didn't miss a huge move or anything. You can see on the daily it did have, resistance up here in this area, not only from the recent 2 days ago, but back in here. So, I didn't really think it was going to go much higher than 175. Just wanted to grab a few cents. I was already down 4 cents on the day, and this one basically got me, positive 20 bucks after it all. So it was nice to be green after that. So NVAX was my next trade. This one, the people that I follow in the bot that cover the bio industry on Twitter, or they do it on social media, whatever, they were all saying that this is old news, that this stock is popping on from 2014. So I took their word for it, and I was just watching the 1 minute chart. You can see the pop up here, consolidate, pop up here. We made a lower high. So a lower high, that's a bearish sign. And then we double topped right over here. Well, when I saw this lower high, I decided to go short. I went short right here. I was hoping to break this level and go back down at 113. I went short, popped right back up, and then we made a double top. Quick spike up and then came right back down. So now we have a double top at 117. So that's showing a good bit of resistance. So I was like, okay, if it goes over 117, I'll cover. I don't care what it does after that. It might just pop up immediately and come back down. Doesn't matter. I'm going to cover because I'm not screwing around with this stock. So it's a larger stock as far as float goes, 282 million. So it did pop up to 117, came right back down, and I was watching the L2. Finally, the asks were coming bigger and bigger. Got another pop up, and then I was like, okay, if 113 breaks, we'll probably get that move down that I was looking for. And right inside here is when that happened. Broke down, and I covered for basically a cent and a half win. I just went out of it at that point. I was pretty red by 4 cents, so I was just like, okay, I'm going to get out of this. And I didn't want to hold any longer. The stock doesn't really move very quickly. If I would have kept holding it, yeah, I'd be up, 6 cents on this thing, 7 cents potentially, but I would have had to hold it all day for that to happen. And that's not my style. So I was happy to take a cent and a half win there, moved on. SPLS was my next play. This was a news play I heard on Benzinga. I can't even remember what the news was. I knew it was positive. Uh, but I also, it was hitting my scan reel right here and it was blowing it up. And as soon as I saw that, I ran over here, saw the volume spike. I mean, we're talking 1.2 million shares of volume in 1 minute out of nowhere. When we're getting like over here 5,000 to 20,000 a minute. So I knew something was up. So I got in. I didn't know what was going on. I took 1,000 shares. I thought I had 3,000, but I took 1,000 shares. Got in at 921, right in here, and sold for 5 cent win. 1,000 shares, $50. So again, I couldn't tell you what the news was. I just know that the thing started running, and when I get into things and I don't know why, I tend to just really just grab what I can and get out because as you can see, it popped all the way up to uh, basically 950, and now it's then it's sold all the way back down. So just really, when you don't know why stock's running, don't hold on to it thinking you got the next dry shipping company that's going to go to $100. In my opinion, I take what I can and get out. GNW, this one I believe, and I can't honestly remember. I think it was a lot of call activity that was going on. I could be wrong. Regardless, it was something I heard on Benzinga, and I grabbed basically a penny on the trade when I heard it. Got in, got out, penny win, and 30 bucks, real quick. Nothing to write home about, but hey, 30 bucks in what is this? 11 seconds? No, 9 seconds. Yeah, I'll take that all day long. RRC was my next play. This one was just an options play again. Benzinga reported that there was some large call activity, and when I heard that, immediately came over here, bought 3,000 shares at 22.37, and sold basically 15 seconds later, 17 seconds later at 22.41 for a 4 cent win, 120 bucks. So again, just playing these news plays, just chipping away at the day, just trying to get 4 or 5 cents here or there, 2 cents if I can get it, whatever, doesn't matter as long as I'm green, and find the next stock because right now it is just a crazy market. So my next trade was AMD, and it was a short play. This one, both my news sources, the Trade Exchange and Benzinga, reported the exact same thing, exact same time. AMD had a negative note out from Detweiler saying that their new Ryzen chips are experiencing processes, or they're experiencing processor problems. They're crashing, they're buggy. Says they're going to take 6 months to fix, and they're going to have to redistribute new chips. So this news is BS, and I don't know why. I don't know why I had the effect on the stock. I build computers uh, on the side for a little extra cash. The Ryzen chip is a great chip, and it's doing really good. There's no issues with it anymore. Yes, it was buggy at launch, but nothing that required a new chip to be produced and sent out in replacement. I mean, it's complete BS. But normal average Joe does not know that, and the stock was already kind of overextended on the daily, so this just gave me an excuse to sell off. So anyway, when I heard that news, I went short at 1280, and you can kind of see that right over here. You can kind of see the volume starting to come in as that note starts to come out. Boom, drops. Got it at 1280, which perfect entry. I really got ahead of this news, and quick drop down, and I covered for basically a 10-cent win. And I covered because I know that this story is BS. There's no issues with this chip. Uh, they're not experiencing any issues anymore. There was some bugs at launch, but what product doesn't have bugs at launch? This is their first major computer chip in like 6 years or 5 years or something like that. I don't know. So it was a little buggy just because motherboard manufacturers and programs just hadn't had time to really optimize their platforms with this new chip, this new platform that's out. So anyway, they do not need to be having recall. It was just complete garbage. So I covered, and it's ticking lower now because now the algos are getting a hold of this thing, and it was probably already overextended, and this just gave it a reason to go down. But um, I took my win, moved on. As you can see though, it tapped this area, popped back up, made a lower high, and cracked through the VWAP again. Now we're double topping right here, so we've kind of got a range of motion. It could pop to the upside. If I was still in this, I'd be watching for these two areas right here. This area, not exact dollars and cents, but this area. You know, it's bouncing inside of here. Whichever way it would go is the way I would trade it. And this right here was the telltale sign. Okay, so we had this movement here. We have a lower high than what was going on up here. That should tell you that we're probably going to break through this area. And as soon as it did, it hasn't come back since. So, um, like I said, I wasn't trading that trade any more than this. I really thought it was going to go back up towards high day because with that kind of negative news that this new chip is super buggy, you'd think it would just you know crash, but it's just not doing that. It's just selling off right now as people are profit taking, in my opinion. If it was that bad, this chip would be, or this stock price would be below 10, in my opinion. So anyway, took my 10 cents, moved on. My last trade was PULM. This one, Zach's came out with a price target of $6 on it. I got in really quick. This was just a news play. Let's see, 1350 right here inside the spike. I thought I was getting in super early, so I took 6,000 shares. I saw that the price hadn't moved much. The low of the day was 250. So at the very worst, I would give it 10 cents and lose $600. So I probably wouldn't have let it go that drop on me. I'd probably sold for maybe 5 cent loss. So anyway, Zax comes out with a price target of $6 on the stock, sitting at support on the daily. Uh, it had room to like 280, which would have been great, but I took 6,000 shares for an average of basically 261. Popped up, trying to crack 264, and then the volume just dried up. And when the volume dried up, I was like, okay, I'm getting out of this thing. So I sold in 3,000 share lots, just hoping that the market maker wouldn't drop the price on me, and he didn't. I got lucky fills, so I actually made about $30 total on that trade, uh, which brought me to my total right now, 523. I'm probably done for today unless another news story hits. But as always, you can find me in the chat rooms that I subscribe to. The link to those are in the description down below. Also, I'm starting up a Discord chat room that I probably won't be super active in the at the market open, just because I'll be listening to so many news sources and all that. But it's going to be free to all my followers. Feel free to hop in that. The link is in the description down below. It's a free chat room. You can come talk to other good traders and toss around some ideas, and I'll be on the voice chat as well, just kind of calling out what I hear from my subscriptions and stuff like that, and hopefully make you guys some money as well. So link for that is down in the description below. All right, guys, I will see you in the next video.